I'm not the only person who's talked about this. How there are some neo-Nazis on Twitter who are defending Epstein, which a lot of people are finding funny. Or a lot of people are asking, like, why would your ideology be based on the idea that Jewish people secretly control the world and that's bad? And then it turns out that a Jewish guy actually is like part of a global pedophile cabal who does have enormous global power. And then you're like, well, actually, that guy in particular is pretty based. For the most part, they're getting ratioed for it, like this guy having impassioned arguments with slightly more authentic neo-Nazis in the comments who are like, no, dude, Epstein didn't have aura. He raped children, that is true. We're really meeting like the lowest possible bar of moral, of like moral grandstanding here. But that is true. That is a correct position to take.
Could you please give us your name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, you get it. I've talked about this. The reason I wanted to talk about it, though, is because Nick Fuentes getting some flack. Nick Fuentes has made a bunch of, like, half ironic, haha, you can't tell if I'm telling a joke or not. It's all irony. I'm the master of my own mind. You can't understand the level of irony I'm operating on, whatever. Statements defending Epstein, but enough of them have piled up that some people are getting annoyed with him. Because again, you have to understand that, like, every single Republican pundit is a grifter or mentally ill. And with Fuentes, it's easily the former. But a lot of the acolytes are not. So I imagine a lot of them are super, super confused. Like, this should be our crowning moment, If you actually believed in the project of neo-Nazism, wouldn't this be like the triumphant moment that you would then use to try to like springboard into a global platform? Like, we now have internationally recognized, undeniable evidence of, at the very least, something that looks pretty close to the conspiracy theory that you've been pushing for decades. What the Epstein files are literally more evidence to your point than has ever been provided by any Nazi group in history, including the original Nazis. Like, the Epstein files, millions and millions and millions of documents of a Mossad, Israel, affiliated, Jewish financier, blah, 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 blah. Like, we know what Epstein was. Like, all of this, you'd think they would look at it and they would be like, oh my God, this is like our moment. Like, we could use this as the people are waking up, the consciousness is spreading. We can use this to take it all the way to the top. Finally, we can get rid of the rhinos and the Zionist cucks, and we can take the stage, And then, like, none of that happens, and Nick Fuentes is just over here doing goofs and selling the Epstein branded quarter zip, Yeah, it's what Alex Jones was talking about for decades. This is like their moment and nothing's happening. Anyway, so a lot of people are confused. And well, here's the clip.
We're selling our brand new America First quarter zip. Very controversial. Everybody's mad about the quarter zip. It's just an 80% cotton, 20% polyester blend.
Ugh, well, now I have a problem with it. The Jeffrey Epstein branded quarter zip. Listen, okay, free speech, but the polyester on a quarter zip? Come on.
And it can't hurt you. It's just a shirt. It can't hurt you. I see people are saying, he needs to apologize. You need to leave. It's like, apologize to who? For what? It's a shirt. People are saying, you need to apologize. Who would I even apologize to? It's a shirt. We're selling a shirt. We stitched a design onto a shirt and then we sold it. People are saying, apologize to who? Who do I need to explain that one to me?
The funny thing, like this, I said before that like the nihilism is a modern feature of Nazism. It was not present in the original Nazis. The original Nazis for this would have Fuentes like put in a hole in the ground, obviously. Like, if there was a member, if there was like an underling of Goebbels who was like half ironically selling merchandise that was from or affiliated with like a prominent Jewish financier in the Weimar Republic, obviously like that would get you you'd be put in the camps like easily, The obsession with like this post irony, funnily enough, it is a kind of postmodernism actually. This like well, all of my beliefs are subterfuge. In reality, the true depths of my consciousness are beyond your imagining. And in the depths of your consciousness are like Wojak memes, and I could make money off of this, But it's always with the artifice. It's pretending to be what it isn't. This would be a fine bit if you were a comedian. Honestly, like with the right sell, it could be funny. But do I feel bad? No, I don't feel bad. But I do, I guess, not sympathize with. I'm interested by the people watching this who thought that Fuentes was ever interested in being anything more than a celebrity, like a shock jock guy, like Howard Stern. You know what I mean? That's all any of them have ever wanted to be. And all of them have backed off when it came to really taking the prize. Candace Owens had a conversation with Erica Kirk and afterwards backed off a lot of the conspiracy shit she was saying about how Erica Kirk had Charlie Kirk assassinated or whatever, you know? Alex Jones, for decades, was pushing essentially the JQ. Now he's just a patsy of the administration. Like, just totally in line. Doesn't say the big stuff, even when it would definitely make him more money and get him more attention, you know? All of them have like a, you will grift to your point of competence, and then after that, you're coasting off of it. Like, you're not taking this movement any further. And you past a point, it's like, damn, do these people ever reconcile with the fact that none of these guys are interested in going the distance? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I don't want to live under a Nazi regime, but like, there also can never be a Nazi regime again. It can't happen. The Nazi regime was the product of a specific set of historical stances. Modern day neo-Nazis are just as out of time as people who genuinely want to apply like Stalinism to the United States, you know? Not to say they're ideologically equivalent, but like, both of you are hearkening to a time past. The forces that allowed both of those things to happen, it wasn't just you had the right guy, you had to have the right conditions. America today is so alien compared to the Weimar Republic in the 30s or the Soviet Union in the 30s. Like, they might as well be different worlds, different timelines. There's really no, you can't recreate those circumstances. I'm personally quite glad the right wing is completely internally schizophrenic. I think this was actually a failing in my analysis for a long time. I always understood that there were people on the left who did not know that they were out of time. It didn't really occur to me the right was as well. Not until about a year and a half ago. Past that point, past Trump's victory, or a little bit before it, it occurred to me. But before that point, I think that I thought like, no, like, you could bring back that style of fascism. No, you couldn't. You never could. You never could. Not in the world today. Not, at least not right now. Not the way things are. Anyway, I don't know. I think it's just a little bit pathetic, I guess. I'd like to believe that as much as I idealize some types of government, I don't really engage in this kind of like half-hearted, semi-ironic, you know, you can't be mad at me because I'm not being serious about it engagement.
Apologize, my ass. And you know how this shows. This is why.
Also, unironically, this is why Charlie Kirk was always more effective of a neo-Nazi than Nick Fuentes. Charlie Kirk was willing to can his worst beliefs in favor of building this big ground-up, like, institutionally powerful TPUSA behemoth that has gone on to be quite powerful to the point where it's basically like an arm of the president of the United States. Nick Fuentes has only ever wanted to be a celebrity. Kirk did way more to motivate people to neo-Nazism than Fuentes ever has. It's just like this marauding band of lolcows, you know, with a shorter and shorter life cycle these days, it seems. Like Clavicular's, I don't know, maybe already on his way out, who the knows. I feel like Andrew Tate, I blinked and Andrew Tate went from like the biggest guy on Twitter to an open neo-Nazi to like now all of his tweets get 4K likes and 3K comments. Like, it took like no time at all. It's just a grift mill where these people get thrown in, they get like a couple months in the limelight, they get cycled out, and always the same base of people underneath them desperately hoping maybe this time it'll be like an actual cause. Would you say Kirk was ideologically genuine compared to Fuentes? Compared to Fuentes, yes. Dude, Kirk never did anything as disingenuous as like try to pretend that Epstein was cool. As a Nazi influencer. Can you, like, what's more disingenuous than that, dude? That's crazy. What the? That's insane. Why would you try for this? I feel like in a way it's almost a kind of like self-cringe or like embarrassment that Fuentes has. The Epstein shit is such an easy layup for him ideologically that to overcommit to it, like, it comes across as too sincere. He thinks he's better than his audience, which in fairness, like, he is, so he doesn't like the idea of being arm in arm with them. He needs to have like a contrarian take on them. Does that make sense? Like, if he was just out there saying all the shit that you would expect, how like this is evidence of the JQ and they've always ruled the goys or whatever, you know, like whatever bullshit, you know, then he would be arm in arm with his audience, and then it would feel to him like, oh God, now I'm one of them, I'm with them, you know? He has to be better than them, and this is one way to distinguish himself. Sorry, I'm just rambling. I just think it's crazy. Because who would have expected this? Right now, by far, the loudest people about Epstein are on the left. All the Nazis are quiet about it, you know? Like, go look at what Candace Owens has said about it, by the way. Playing it the down. Like, the most she's doing, she's saying good morning Goyim on Twitter or whatever. Like, she's really not engaging with this to the extent you would expect from a person who openly believes in the JQ. Holocaust denier doesn't have anything to do except sell Epstein cordyceps. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy, man.
Goyim are us.
What?
And you know how this shows, this is why Goyim are shut your Goyim ass up, fuck.
That doesn't even sound right. What are you saying? Was this practice? There's no conviction in your heart.
Shut your Goyim ass up, fuck.
Oh my God. He's like, if he keeps saying it, he'll eventually settle on saying it correctly or something. I don't know. Show him how it's done. Yeah. No, it's okay. I'm on YouTube, not Rumble or whatever the fuck he streams. Okay. We all know I could drop it with more sincerity than that.
You want to know why Goyim are
Oh my God, dude. It's like a kid who just learned a swear word, man. Holy shit.
Because Goyim will make fun of the Holocaust every day like it's going out of style. 6 million, more like 271,000, am I right?
Yeah, imagine doing that. Imagine hypothetically being a person who does that. Guess he doesn't do it as much nowadays because, again, it's...
Lampshades and bars of soap, my ass. Okay, people did die, though. Okay, like, I don't think that 6 million died. And I don't think they were turning to lampshades and bars of soap. People definitely died. The Goyim make fun.
I wish I could see what his chat was like at this moment. Because if you're an actual Nazi, this has to be incomprehensible. This has got to be like how the do you... thinks the Holocaust numbers are exaggerated, but is still sad at those who died. The position from a Nazi being, it's okay to joke about how we like it that the Jewish guy had the rape island, the pedophile rape island, because we make jokes about the Holocaust, which I think was sad, but also don't think fully what kind of, you know what? It actually makes sense because all this is perfectly coherent if you are Nick Fuentes, because all of it is just an edgy thing to talk about. There's no actual ideology. That's the only way this makes sense. There's no ideological underpinning, like, whatsoever. It's literally just the Holocaust is an edgy topic, Epstein is an edgy topic, we're just being edgy here. Like, the fact that ideologically he's supposed to be in favor of one and opposed to the other one, it doesn't play, because to him they're all like indistinguishable blobs of non-meaning, you know? Piers Morgan broke through to him. He's fallen.
That all day long. And they say, 6 million didn't really die. Hitler was awesome, did nothing wrong. Then a humble shirt salesman sells a humble little shirt, a cute little top that everybody loves. And people go, you need to apologize. I have kids. And this shirt offends me. It's like, okay, well, Jews have grandparents. It's called jokes, bro.
The whole point of having a moral system is that some things are supposed to be sacrosanct to an extent, right? Like, I think, and I guess I'm kind of like guessing here, but I have a feeling that Nazis, like in the 30s, probably wouldn't find the idea of Jewish oligarch raping white children funny. They probably wouldn't find that funny. I'm just guessing. Like, they would probably find that a little bit of a, insensitive. They would have lost their fucking mind. Well, they would have. How do you feel about Nick just not having empathy? Nah. It has nothing to do with Nick not having empathy. It's that, like, he's taking the maximalist, like, it's a product of nihilism. Okay, you know what? I can tie this back into what I said earlier. Unironically, this is part of the death of democracy. Not because he's a threat to democracy, because he's like a fake Nazi or whatever, but rather because the nihilism that's informing his literally everything is jokes, I have no belief comedy sensibilities, right? That nihilism is seeped into, to a large extent, like everyone, right? People will sell out their beliefs on a dime. Like, they'll drop them very easily, reflexively, in the pursuit of proving that they don't actually believe in anything. It's all an affect. There's not a real... Do you think he's aiming to be a Sam Hyde type rather than an actual political operative? Okay, but that's a perfect example of what I mean. Sam Hyde is not a smart guy. He has, at best, like a comedic turn to him. And people liked him when he had that comedic turn. When did you stop hearing about him? When he started taking himself more seriously. Everyone likes the Candyman trying to, rape Hassan or whatever. But then he's like, hold on, I have a real opinion now. And it's the same boilerplate, like low IQ, quote unquote analysis you get from every right-wing pseudo, and then no one cares anymore. I think that Nick's trying to avoid that in an ideology that is poisoned by nihilism and self-debasement and like cringe directed internally and externally. You can't be the guy who like somberly dies on a hill. Actually, I have something serious in mind today. Yeah, no, it's very dangerous. No ideology could survive this kind of behavior.
Now we can't make a f***ing joke. Whoa. Hello. Since when did this turn into like a GameStop? Is becoming in like, it's ma'am. It's ma'am. She
That's a deep cut.
was 17. It's like, it's okay. What does that have to do with this delicious little shirt?
Delicious little shirt.
You know what? Goyim f***ing ruin everything. They ruin everything. It's crazy. We're out here being edgy and having a good time. And it's like, look, when everybody was like a Jewish NPC, it was funny to say like, Jews suck, Hitler did nothing wrong, and everybody would freak out. And the same people would say, you're an anti-Semite. Now, it's like everyone's an anti-Semite. So now it's kind of fun to say like, Goyim suck.
Oh, yeah, oh wait, never mind. He just says it. Yeah, he just says it. The popularity of the Epstein files means that he no longer gets a contrarian kick out of doing JQ stuff. So now, like, performatively indicating he doesn't actually think the Epstein stuff is that serious is how he distinguishes himself. He's embarrassed by the idea of being like in lockstep with the beliefs of his audience, who he talks down to constantly. Okay, wow, he just said, I don't know. Man, stuff like this makes me wonder if I've overestimated how smart he is before. Because you can be smart and behave like this, but I don't think you could be smart and admit it. I couldn't imagine being smart. Like, imagine if like I was toiling away in the leftism mines for years, saying over and over, wealthy people control our society, democracy is a farce, they control the media, blah, 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 right? And then the Epstein files or whatever else comes out, whatever piece of evidence you want. And now everybody's talking about how all of society is controlled from the top down by a group of oligarchs. And all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, what's wrong with wealthy guys just trying to have some fun, man? What, you have a problem with the free market? And like for weeks, I start ironically, oh, now that everyone believes that wealthy people, the oligarchs, control society, now I'm here with the crazy hot take. Now everyone's saying that. But, have you ever considered these people provide us jobs too? It's just a joke. Come on, like, it's a little weird, right? I don't know if my audience would let me survive that, to be honest with you. I'd like to believe that you guys, to an extent, reward me for my sincerity. Oh, I just can't imagine living this life. I feel like, not Fuentes, but like a fan of Fuentes. Fuentes is rich, so he's whatever, he's fine. But I just can't imagine like being a fan of Fuentes and like giving him your money, and then like every once in a while you get this reminder, like a jolt to the brain, that he does not care. Not about you, right? Because of course he doesn't care about you specifically. Does not care about the project. Like, your life sucks. You can't get a girlfriend. Your job sucks. You can't get a house. Everything's falling apart in your life. You think of the rope like every day, and your only hope is that like you live. You're in your mind. There is the refuge of Agartha or whatever. Like in your mind, you have the vision. Maybe things could be better if X, and you give money to the people who you think like share your vision, and then like none of them believe in it, and your life is a joke, and none of it matters. You know what I mean? Like that. Genuinely, that's got to be. I don't sympathize with them. Nah, I'm not saying you have to sympathize with them. It's just more like you get the feeling when you see these guys post that they're like one bad day away from a long walk off a short pier, and you do get reminders now and again why, like, at least like as bad as things are in the world, at least there are tons and tons of people on my side of the fence who like actually believe in shit. Like there's like at least there's a kind of collective struggle towards goodness, even if it's in many cases feels like kind of fruitless. But I like without that, can you imagine if you woke up and every day it was like there actually are no leftists? Like everybody who pretends to be a leftist is like one of those Twitter chorus grifter types, people who are just like very transparently they're just in it for like a little celebrity boost and then they're out. And there are no good examples, none. Not even like interpersonally in your life, because you don't know each other in real life. You only know each other online. Yeah. Like every single leftist with more than 1,000 Twitter followers was like the Red Scare girls. Exactly. That's all you can get. God, that'd suck. Man, that would suck. All right, well, hey, listen, okay? I guess we're almost done with the clip. It's just kind of like weird and depressing to think about living the life of somebody who earnestly engages with the so-called ideological project of Nazism. But, if you care about improving the life of white people, I've got a great ideology for you, okay? Because it turns out that a rising tide can, in fact, lift all boats. If it is in fact the rising tide that you are affecting. So I'm just saying, like, if you all I'm saying is that approximately like 0% of everyone on the right's time is dedicated to improving the life of white people. And by virtue of improving the life for all working people, people on the left are basically like 24/7 out there fighting for the whitey, okay? Whatever you prefer.
Jeffrey Epstein's awesome. Take away your island. What kind of man are you? Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, city boy? Then you start posting TikTok edits about that, and the same people go, you're a pedophile. It's like, okay, all right already. I've heard enough out of you, pal. Goyim in abundance.
Well, I'm glad we have no real enemies, I suppose. All of our real enemies are our capital owners. There are no like real culture war, like vanguard fronts on the opposite side, just people trying to get money. I have no enemies.